Well, before I begin, I'll let everybody know that it's a disaster this evening, folks. Pure disaster because there were no blue roses that spawned on Animal Crossing today. So, one for the homies on that one. No blue roses. Oh, I would like to say hooty hoo. Hooty hoo! I am quite happy to say that I am a huge fan of Outkast after this first album, just the one album, and more so that I am really, really enjoying the Southern rap style. Honestly, I have kind of been waiting for something like this because there's a lot of rock that I listen to, and when you get into some of the classic rock stuff, even some of the grunge stuff, there are some albums that are just chill. The first one that comes to mind for me is Alice in Chains' Jar of Flies, which is an EP, and it's only like a half hour long, but it's great. I mean, and it's got some songs that are a little bit more up-tempo and stuff like that, but overall, it's just a chill album. Another one that I really like that fits that mold, I feel, is Pink Floyd Animals. And it's 5 tracks. 2 of them are a minute and a half long. The other 3 are well over 15 minutes apiece. Well, I think, anyway, very long songs. And on those 3 songs, they're just playing. And it's just cool, chill music to listen to. And I love it. And hip-hop thus far has had some chill songs. And there's been some, mellower albums. But nothing like this. Nothing where I just put it on and I'm just chilling to it. And the Southern Playalistic Cadillac music, man, I love it. I love the vibe. I love the beats. I love how everything is just, it's kind of a slow roll. But then on top of that, you've got great, great lyrical flow going on. And then too, there's some lyrics. People have been telling me that with this album, it wasn't necessarily their best just because I guess the label was trying to push them in a direction of more of like thug rap or something like that. And so when they broke out on the next album with AT-Aliens, they kind of got away from that, and that's when it really started clicking for them. And I can kind of see flashes of that throughout this album of some of these higher level thinking in the lyrics, if that makes any sense. Like on, I believe it's Claiming True, where he's saying, Heavenly Father, why do you even bother watching over me? Struggling must have been heaven sent, and he's just talking about all these struggles and all these strains, all these things that they're dealing with all the time. And he does it in such a way where it's a lot more conceptual in its nature, almost philosophical, rather than just, recognizing the grind that's right in front of your face and trying to deal with all these things. He's taking a step back and really saying, what the fuck is all this about? Like, what's the point? And it makes me want to hear more from Andre, more of just his thoughts in general. I actually didn't get around to watching any of the interviews this week, unfortunately. And then the track Get Up, Get Out, that whole thing with CeeLo and him kind of going back and forth. I think it's with his aunt or maybe it was mom. I don't know. But him going back and forth, the one person's telling him, you got to get up and make something of yourself. Don't you want to, have something? Aren't you tired of wanting and tired of struggling? And yeah, but then I get out there and every job I get is low and demeaning. And he really captured, especially in that verse, CeeLo's verse there, he really just captured that. That's just like wet, heavy, soggy apathy, where it's like you're trying to get out of it, but it's dripping all over you. Just, it's so hard to get motivated. That song captures that so well. And then Crumbling Herb. Great jam, super chill too. But the lyric is in there. Oh God, now if I can remember it. I'll say, what is it? Homies killing homies. They just don't understand. And then there's this whisper, that's the master plan. I don't know how I missed that on my initial reaction. Like that line right there in the chorus is huge to me, because especially when I go back to Dark Twisted Fantasy and that last track, the poem, Who Will Survive in America? Who will survive in America? And this whole, the structure, the power structure that exists, right? And if you're the person sitting on top of this power structure and you don't care about poor people or even just black people to begin with, and all you hear about is gang violence and drug addiction and they're just killing themselves off, yeah, you're as happy as can be if you're that person, right? And it's almost like the power structure that exists is built that way to facilitate this type of environment and behavior so that they can just sit back and do nothing while all the people that they don't want kill each other off. I know it's kind of dark and twisted, but honestly, that's kind of the worldview that I hold. That's what I think of when I think of the power structure that exists in this country. I want to tear off onto a tangent, but I won't, because I can already like feel myself wanting to talk about policing and how they're trained, and it's on and on and on. And so that line, just some of these lines that exist throughout the album, I feel like, again, like I was saying, there are these moments where it seems like Andre and Big Boy both, they kind of step above this layer of just whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it thug rap or gangster rap, whatever. And it's like, no, we're seeing things from a higher view. It's not just, ground level. Like, we're stepping back and understanding a broader aspect of what's going on. And that's what makes it really interesting. But overall, man, it's just this cool, chill vibe that exists throughout the entire album. I always kind of laugh at myself because I think, for me, the album really starts on track 5 with the title track, Southern Play. Now I can't, I'm going to read it, and so now I can't say it with that one. But then I think, oh no, Ain't No Thing's a great track. And then even track 2 with my intro to Let You Know, that one still isn't really quite my favorite. It's okay. Call of the Wild, still not quite my favorite. I'm a little bit more adjusted to CeeLo's hook in that one. It still sounds, I don't know, a little flat, but I understand what they were trying to do. Just kind of make it a little bit more dark, a little bit more creepy in a sense. It does make me want to hear 3 6 Mafia. I want to check out their album. I forget the name of it, the one that's always talked about, but I want to check that one out too, because from what I understand, 3 6 Mafia is kind of dark and moody and scary. And so that piques my interest. But Players Ball is fucking awesome. Claiming True is awesome. Funky Ride is so cool. Get Up, Get Out. Crumbling Herb, Hootie Hootie. I mean, it's just great. From top to bottom, it's such a great album. And honestly, I think with the exception of I listened to Frank Ocean's Blonde once this week when I was driving. And I listened to my top 10 Kanye list that I made. Aside from those 2 musical instances, this is the only rap album I listened to this week. I listened to it over and over and over again. And then what's crazy is seeing all these comments of people saying, just wait till AT-Aliens. What's the other one? Aquemini or however you pronounce it. So I'm very excited. I did say in a live stream Saturday that I'm probably going to start slightly rotating Kanye out and start rotating Outkast in, because I want to get through these guys. I want to hear more of what they have. So I'm still going to do Watch the Throne in April. I'm still planning on doing The Life of Pablo in May. But in June, I'll probably rotate a Kanye out in for an Outkast. Now, I would like to get to AT-Aliens before June, but I don't know if that's going to happen, unfortunately, because there's still a lot of stuff out there that I want to listen to. But at minimum, that means AT-Aliens in June. So we'll see how that goes. I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I was thinking, actually, I think it was on Discord, I was talking about a little bit of, I'm coming up on my year of making videos. At the end of May, I think, is when I made my first video last year. And so for my 1 year anniversary, I was thinking, okay, I'll make a video of, what are my top 10 albums? What are my top 10 songs so far? That's going to be a hard one. And then, okay, what about top 10 artists, that I've listened to so far? The artist one, I think, is harder, just because, I've heard all of Tyler's music. I've heard a huge chunk of Kanye's music. So there's certain artists who I've gotten way more playtime with than others. So it's not a fair, not a fair balance, I think. But in terms of albums, we'll see what AT-Aliens has. But no, this one's up there. This one's up there. I guess that's it. Really, it's just 10 minutes of me gushing over it. And I'm fine with that. One thing I was thinking too of, because I don't know, I said it during the reaction video too, of how it still surprises me that they can have some of these rapid lyrical paces, some of these rapid flows, over these slower beats, and it still pairs really well. And then 2, even though there are some lines in there that are really good and very powerful in terms of lyrics, overall, with it being a little bit more on the gangster rap side, I do just kind of shut my brain off, and it's this great sound of... I'm starting to think of lyrics, and well, not lyrics, vocals and rap as kind of a guitar, in the sense that, you know, some guys, they've got these heavy riffs and maybe they're slower. Some guys go immediately, really fast, and then they change it up. Some guys have these slower strums. You know, there's all these different ways to play the guitar. And I'm really starting to think about just the vocals as an instrument, kind of in the same style as I think about a guitar and how people play the guitar. And so with people playing the vocals in that kind of analogy, if that makes any sense, it's just neat because these guys are playing over it. Sometimes they're going fast, sometimes it's not so fast. Sometimes they've got these really cool slow choruses like in Crumbling Herb. Sometimes not. I don't know. I don't really know why I brought that up, but it was just a concept that's been bouncing around my head lately. And I thought, you know, it's kind of a neat way to explain rap, the actual physical rap, to somebody who is coming from rock and doesn't really understand it, doesn't really get it. Because there's a lot going on there mechanically with rhymes and pace and inflection and power. I mean, there's so much going on. It's kind of like a vocal guitar in a way. Anyway, there you go. I guess that's it. Loved it. Looking forward to more Outkast. Friday is my first experience with Drake. That will be very interesting. Very interesting. I'll talk about that more on Friday. And I'll see you guys later.